What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another XRP update. In today's video, we are going to be going through the $10 to $15 trillion in SME, small medium enterprise cross-border payment flows and XRP's role in this. Now, we're going to be going through some facts. We're going to be going through this recent paper that was published by the company Ripple. And if you also want to stick around for XRP price and fully understand what is at play here, I encourage you to stick around for the end of this video. I'll play this 2-minute clip and they're discussing at Ripple's annual event, just like Swift has their annual Sibos event, talking about XRP, and it's not coming from me, it's coming from people at Swell, people that are bankers, that are from backing central banks, that are backing governments, that are backing financial institutions such as Veeam or anything in between. And even Anderzel and Real XRP Boy sharing this clip. So let's see, he shared this on June 3rd. I retweeted it if you want to go watch it, but this will be playing at the end of the video, specifically saying the market capitalization for XRP has to be in the trillions of dollars for it to really function for what it was made to do. And keep in mind, market cap, all that is circulating supply multiplied by the last traded price. Now they're accounting for the 100 billion XRP. In reality though, the price can be much higher because you're basing it off of the circulating supply as well, because there's billions that are locked away in escrow. Then with Flare Networks, there's also additional demand. When you want to mint XRP and make it an F asset, you're also going to have to lock up the digital asset. So the tokenomics, the token economics can rise much faster than we even anticipate. We have never been here before. This is uncharted territory. We're going to go through this report, and if you guys have not yet seen the previous video I uploaded right before this one, go watch it. It's only about 11 minutes and it will go through some very important information and even showcase Martin Volk's recent video with Nexo in terms of generating passive income. Now, the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is literally in his video, showing you the thought process and creating feedback loops to generate passive income or even just interest on your returns. Now, of course, investing is the key to wealth, but very few people understand how to truly compound those returns and put them back into the machine. Remember, wealthy people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. So this is something that is so underrated. Few are going to understand it, and even fewer are going to take advantage of it. And this is all free information. And essentially, the world helps those that help themselves. This is all available, and I hope you guys enjoy. But anyways, let's kick it off. We're going to go over this recent Ripple report. So as you can see, Ripple did post this on June 11th. Big opportunity in small business payments. Now, this is going to be sharing the absolute facts. Very few people actually want to do the research. They just want to be told what to believe or what to look at. And we're going to actually be going through and just reading some of these statistics that are very, very important. Okay? And then we're going to be talking about XRP's role for these SMEs in terms of credit and actually taking part in these payment flows. We know that they've done over $2 billion, but in the scheme of things, that does not impress me one bit. We have so much further to go, and that is why I'm excited, because as an investor, you want to buy low and sell high. You want to buy when there's fear in the market, when there's uncertainty that there's even a guaranteed success case. If you guys want to wait until there's already guaranteed adoption and mass adoption, you're going to be too late. And the way I've made the most money in this market is by believing in an asset well before the majority do. And of course, there's a lot of people in this crypto space, but the majority of wallets compared to the population is still incredibly low. So first things first, big opportunity in small business payments. Now is the time to capitalize on small and medium enterprises, SMEs, in cross-border payments. Let's look at this market share and discuss a bit. So number one, SMEs are a growing, undeserved market in cross-border payments. Right here, no place is this more true than in emerging markets with over $100 billion in potential revenue annually. And now the thing about this is actually the perfect nest egg or foundation to build on-demand liquidity and develop necessary volume for XRP going forward. And also keep in mind, guys, there is only a finite amount of XRP that has ever been created. No more XRP can ever be created again. And every single time XRP is transacted over the XRP ledger, there is a small amount of XRP, fraction of XRP, that burns and disappears forever. So you have a supply that is finite, that is limited, that is slowly disappearing. Now, although that it may be minute, and really the reason for the burn of XRP is to protect the network from spam and types of, distributed denial of service attacks, DDoS attacks, or DOS attacks, it does, in fact, and will push, at least in terms of tokenomics and demand going forward as the volume increases. And of course, we're expecting the increase to be exponential. So you guys can use your imagination with that. And then also 3, using new technology, blockchain, disintermediation, getting rid of these middlemen. In the correspondent banking network, they're going to have a little chart later in this video showing you it's literally going to be peer-to-peer, so to speak. You're going to be trusting everybody. Blockchain adoption is a no-brainer. When you study the fundamentals and you understand this technology versus any type of competitor, I think it'll hopefully relax you guys and hopefully show you what you own in this digital asset space. Okay. So right here, SMEs are a dynamic force in the global economy today and are a growing source of cross-border payments. Right here, this is especially true in emerging markets, and this is exactly what Ripple is targeting. SMEs account for 60% of employment and 40% of national income. Interesting. We can see $10 to $15 trillion in SME cross-border payment flows, whereas there's about 100 billion plus, if not 150 billion in terms of revenue. So revenue opportunity in largest emerging market corridors. Very interesting. Now, there's very few fintechs that are actually put together, such as Ripple, to actually solve this issue. Also, notable growth in the business-to-business, so B2B cross-border payment market. It's growing a lot faster than some other sectors as well. We can see this market, or with the market exceeding in terms of B2B cross-border payments, is exceeding $125 trillion. And that was in 2017, according to McKinsey and Company. So the firm estimates revenues from this market will surge another 9% by 2022, reaching almost $3 trillion. Very, very interesting. Okay, you guys can see the charts on the right-hand side. And consider the BRICS nations, consider the rates of inflation, consider everything. Consider central bank digital currencies and the rise of them and the promise of them. But essentially, we can't put this genie back in the bottle. It is happening with or without us. It'll happen whether I hold XRP or not. So that's the way I'm seeing things, and that is why I continue to hold XRP. I'm not really interested in the stock market where I can get a 10% return and keep buying, assets on NASDAQ or anything, or just even watching the Dow, essentially, at an all-time high price. So I'm not really willing to risk that. I'm looking to be more so into crypto, maybe hold fiat while everybody's afraid of inflation and look to capitalize on any types of trends that are going to be rotating as maybe the real estate market pulls back or the stock market, or hold some wealth in essentially precious metals. Really just gold and silver for me though. Okay, anyways, it's also worth noting that SME B2B markets are outpacing consumer to business, C2B, and B2C, business to consumer markets, including wages and payouts. And don't even get me started on paying in real time and micropayments. There's so many other factors I could talk about right now. And sorry, because my mind is just going everywhere. It's just so obvious. But anyways, we can see they're growing faster than C2C and B2C at a 5 to 10% per year rate. And yet people are losing faith. Very funny. Okay, also, SME, B2B cross-border payments are especially strong in emerging markets. About 2/3 of these payments are from developed countries, while profitability and growth is twice as high in emerging markets and in the developed world. SME cross-border payment revenues in emerging markets have reached as much as $100 to $150 billion annually. So they've reached this annually already. This is not just some projection. These are actual facts, these numbers that we have right in front of us. So the majority of this revenue opportunity is found in the APAC and Eastern Europe region, so Asia Pacific. And funny enough, there's a method to the madness. We see that Ripple is establishing offices and establishing corridors throughout essentially all the APAC region and even the MENA region as well. With, of course, a new, the regional headquarters in Dubai in the UAE. Those remittance rates when people are sending money home to their families is incredibly high. I think it's like 7 to 9%, maybe higher in some areas. They're going to be capitalizing off this. 90% of Ripple revenue and even trading of XRP, I would say 85 to 90% of XRP trading and Ripple's revenue is outside of the US. Do you really think the SEC is going to threaten them? No. Okay. Also, revenue opportunity in high margin emerging markets in the billions of dollars. So we can see even Colombia, 1 to 3 billion, Brazil, 8 to 12 billion. Don't even get me started on Brazil. Of course, this is a huge focus for them. We can see Argentina's pretty large, 3 to 5. See Poland, Austria is pretty large, 10 to 15. Just looking for some big numbers. Thailand is about, with the Thai bot, 8 to 12. Singapore, 3 to 6. I'm sure that's going to be growing exponentially in the future. India is 10 to 15 billion. That is quite large. So that's something to note as well. Turkey, the Turkish lira, method to the madness, guys. Everybody sees Turkey. Oh yeah, big deal. The Turkish lira. Look at that, 10 to 15 billion in emerging markets. Look at that opportunity. They're sticking to the facts. So keep in mind and look at all of this. I believe everything does have significance. These multi-billion-dollar companies, Ripple, I mean, come on, just like Coinbase was valued at $8 billion years ago, that same year, Ripple was valued at $10 billion. It was valued higher than Coinbase. Higher than Coinbase. And Coinbase had one of the largest IPOs in history, specifically in the cryptocurrency space. What do you think the company Ripple is going to do? Exactly. Okay, emerging market growth opportunity we can see in the trillions of dollars growing, and these SMEs' needs are specialized and largely unmet by traditional systems. Traditional systems, these banks, you really think these dinosaurs that are still using infrastructure and payment rails that are 40 years old, that were built before the internet, are even like able today to help them? No, they need a versatile or easy moving, quick moving, and adaptable, I should say, fintech company such as Ripple that can do it. Just sharing that, you can see projected growth annual through 2022. We get the APAC region, Latin America, Eastern, Middle East, Africa, all this. So bunch of regions and growing. So this is why I'm excited. These are the facts that I look at while everybody else, pouts or freaks out when, Bitcoin goes down or anything in between. Also, around 70% of SMEs in emerging markets lack access to credit. This is according to the World Bank. The World Bank praised XRP, specifically XRapid, which was what's called today on-demand liquidity. They praised it. And I know we've gone over that article back in 2018, 2017. And keep in mind, XRapid did in fact go live in late 2018. But it's been being worked for quite some time. So that's something to note, okay? So 70% of SMEs in emerging markets lack access to credit. Oh, well, coincidentally, we have a line of credit that specifically uses XRP that, of course, we have Ashish Birla, GM of RippleNet, create for his clients. So it helps these SMEs, not the big businesses, but the SMEs actually scale accordingly. And guess what? They love it. So that's something that we'll be watching for XRP usage as well in terms of transactions. Buying XRP on credit. Think of buying XRP on a credit card and utilizing it in transfer flows. And then eventually they have to buy XRP from the open market. That happens enough between a lot of these SMEs and businesses, and boom, the price begins to rise. And if it happens quickly, that price will rise quickly. All right, what else we got? Got so many numbers right here. 71% of SMEs believe cross-border payments are problematic. So does Kevin. Right here, why are SMEs in need or needs not being met? We can talk about the Nostro and Vostro accounts, the correspondent banking model. It's completely archaic. I don't need to bore you with that. You guys already know it. But you can, if you want to YouTube it or, research it any way you can. Bank XRP is a great channel to follow. He has so many archives of old videos and conferences describing it time and time again. So pay attention to that. We should talk about the FX swaps as well. So Swift sends $5 trillion plus a day. We hit the foreign exchange market, $5 trillion plus a day as well. There's trillions of dollars. Don't even get me started on a plethora of RippleNet partners, like legitimate RippleNet partners, not just pretend partners, like Volante that sends trillions of dollars per day as well. SME pain points, just like you can imagine, without blockchain technology. Visibility, traceability, speed, cost, etc. And the thing is, guys, I'm not acting like blockchain is just some amazing solution to everything. It's not, but in terms of what exists today in the financial infrastructure, it really can mitigate a lot of the things. But the thing is, with any disruptive technology, we can't just put blockchain in as a band-aid with the new buzzword and say it's fixed. You actually need to build infrastructure to bridge the new infrastructure. And that's what Ripple's doing. They're not just making XRP. They're building the infrastructure to bridge their infrastructure to the financial system. And unfortunately, that's what everyone has to do. Same thing with Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I wish it well. Maybe it does very well as a store of value long term. But to think that banks are just going to adopt Bitcoin and become the new medium of exchange, I think is myopic. I think it's silly. Could Bitcoin be a long-term store of value? Oh, absolutely. But in terms of transaction costs and scalability, no. Ethereum, awesome. The first asset really to make programmable money with smart contracts. And they're still building and they're still trying to improve it. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with trying to improve technology. Do not get tribal. If there's something that's better than XRP that comes around, I'm going to be real about it. But the thing is, liquidity and adoption and network effects are also very important considerations. You can make a blockchain that maybe scales faster than XRP, but who's already running nodes on the XRP ledger? Who's already building federated sidechains? Who's already holding XRP? Who's already transacting in it? We've gotten XRP to a multi-billion-dollar market cap. Once an asset reaches a $1 billion plus market cap, which XRP's eclipsed before, it's here to stay. People don't really consider those factors. And then also the 24-hour volume is very, very important, and it's already being used by live financial institutions. I've seen other people say, oh, this technology is better. You could say maybe here and here, but then there's 7 other ticks at XRP, and the XRP ledger is obviously a lot more better suited for this specific use case. So everybody has an opinion, and I'll leave it at that. The cost of B2B payments, 2 to 5 days to settle on average. Of course, XRP is 3 to 5 seconds. $3 to $100 per transaction. XRP is 0.00003 cents. Remember, even Michael Arrington sent $50 million instead of a bank wire, which would have cost him a lot. He sent $50 million, and it costed literally, what? He said 30 cents? And you can go find that video. It's quoted. About 30 cents to send $50 million. Let's see, 4 to 6% international payment error rate. So 4 to 6% of all payments are not sent correctly. Do you want to know what percent of XRP ledger payments are sent correctly? 100%. There's never been an error in the ledger. There's 64 million, if not more, ledgers successfully closed since its inception, and XRP is over 9 years old and has been trialed by plenty of central banks. And if you think, wow, 9 years, that took a long time. Do you know any other asset? Do you think banks are just going to create an asset out of nowhere and then use it and onboard everybody? No, they are so careful and cautious by nature. They need resources and technologies that are tried and true. It will not just be the XRP ledger, but I do believe that RippleNet and the XRP ledger have a great chance of being some of these side options in the future, if not one of the main standards. Just like head of ACI worldwide, they sent $14 trillion a day, has said he named Ripple alongside with Swift as being one of the settlement mechanisms discussing this very issue, and he is a RippleNet partner. So just some of the things I consider. Also, new technology can bring better services to SMEs. Blockchain versus the correspondent banking network. Blockchain, bank A to B, right there. With this correspondent banking network, of course, it goes through a variety of people. There's costs and fees between all of this. There's no transparency to see where on earth your payment is, who received it, how much. Is there any ISO-rich data in messaging? Nope. Good luck. It's kind of just like throwing a football or sending an envelope and crossing your fingers it gets to the next country. And if it doesn't, you have no idea where it is, and 4 to 6% of them don't even get received. How on earth can you do that when you're sending millions of dollars? Well, arguably trillions of dollars, as we've shown on a daily basis. Exactly. So hopefully you understand the argument for XRP and digital assets for that matter. All right. One, standardization, APIs, blah, blah, blah. Increased transparency, resiliency, fraud protection. There's just so many benefits. Speed, reduced cost, rich data transfer. So this is just about Ripple as a whole, okay? And of course, we're going to highlight the XRP ledger as well. Right here. So Ripple provides one frictionless experience to send money globally using the power of blockchain. Customers can use the digital asset XRP as an alternative to pre-funding. Now, for those of you that do not know what this correspondent banking model and the biggest argument for XRP is, essentially, there's anywhere from, let's say, 5 to 10 to even about, 20 plus. I've heard figures even on the news of $27 trillion, and Brad Garlinghouse has been quoted to say that on the news as well. We'll say $5 trillion to $27 trillion across the board. And to be conservative, we could say about $10 trillion in float. So that is called just-in-case money. That's money that these banks, through their correspondent relationships, have to hold just in case the money doesn't get there for their liquidity needs. So they're holding, let's just say, what I keep saying it, $5 to $27 trillion of just-in-case money in these accounts that's doing nothing. That's getting hit with inflation year over year, losing purchasing power. It's it's losing opportunity to create additional streams of revenue. If you had $1 billion, wouldn't you want to get 10%, off that in maybe an index fund per year, or reinvest in your business to grow a new vertical or establish new offices? Exactly. So these businesses almost can't afford to not do anything, and they have these pre-funded accounts because this whole infrastructure, these payment rails, are 40 to 50 years old. And so we're going to keep screaming from the rooftop, making videos covering Ripple, covering XRP, covering a variety of assets, because you guys know I hold a variety of assets in this space. But there's so much tribalism, there's so much hate towards XRP or crypto or anything in between, and it's so myopic, it's so narrow-sighted. It's so much bigger than what's happening. So we are encountering a transfer of wealth, and that makes some people roll their eyes. But in reality, it's happening right now. So just wanted to share that. So reducing costs, accessing new markets, allowing all these SMEs, or I should say even the dinosaurs, the big banks and big businesses, to properly scale and free that capital. It's not locked up anymore. You can free the trillions of dollars, $27 trillion that's locked up, and they can create new revenue streams or buy products and unleash the internet of value. It would create a Cambrian explosion of value, just like we had with innovations in terms of logistics and shipping, just like we had when the internet created essentially an open standard for information to interoperate, sending emails and texts and videos to our friends in a variety of countries in the snap of a finger. Same thing has to happen on the back end for settlement. Most kids, they think, oh, well, what do I need, settlement for? I have Venmo, I have PayPal, I have Cash App, I have all these other applications that can send payments. That's not the issue. The issue is there's costs associated with sending that, and these settlements, even through credit card providers, let's say Discover, is not settled until days after you send it. You might think you're all settled, but the banking, the base layer of the payments is not settled yet, and that is where XRP comes in. When XRP is adopted in a massive way, just like many other assets that have the potential to do just that, most people won't even know what XRP is. They won't know that there's potentially an interledger protocol helping connect all of these ledgers. They don't really understand what TCP is. They don't understand what, an IP address is on the internet. They don't understand how cell phones work. They don't understand how a credit card even swipes and functions. We don't care. We just want it to work. We want it to be cheap, fast, and reliable. And that is what Ripple is building. So anyways, I feel like that was a little motivational talk. Had a coffee, so hopefully that was a solid video. But Ripple's global payments network includes 200 plus FIs, 50 plus countries. It's so much bigger than just XRP and interledger protocol and the XRP ledger, but it's centered around real-time payments, transacting value in obviously a frictionless way. So here's some other groups as well. We have, Instagram we've talked about in the UK. We got BTech in Brazil. You guys want to check out any of these, articles on Ripple's website as well. RippleNet Insights is a great place to read and learn more about them. But overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just remember, there is a very, very big money in this market, and it is awaiting to be freed. And this is what digital assets can do. Now, a lot of cryptocurrencies, they're garbage. They're false promises. But the assets that actually are used, mass adopted, have regulatory clarity, and this is why it's a good thing that we're head-to-head. Ripple is head-to-head with the SEC currently, because when we can get clarity, it is smooth sailing. And of course, it's been a bumpy road. I don't think we're there yet. It's been tough, requiring patience, but I'm willing to wait. I'll be here, guys, continuing to make videos, sharing my honest thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now let me play that final clip that you guys have to see discussing XRP price, and I will catch you in the next video.
Between the ability to use them for that and the price that they have to have. Because like a few months ago, I spoke with Miguel Villas, the head of XRP markets at Ripple. XRP is Ripple's cryptocurrency that we've been talking about. And he said, before he could even really have that conversation with banks to encourage them to use this as an on-demand liquidity tool, the market cap needed to be much higher, the transaction volume needed to be much higher, and there needed to be more exchange partners. So if it's just being used kind of for transmission like that, what does that imply about the price versus some of the kind of the retail use case or speculative use cases that
price is going to go up? No, look,
and how far away
the honest answer is I don't know Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, I don't know what the driver of value is there. I think, in fact, when you look at Bitcoin, the initial adoption of Bitcoin is all about retail, and that didn't pan out. And suddenly you have millions of people who hold it. They're just going to hold it. So what's become the use case for Bitcoin is just a store of value, and I think that will persist. And somehow they landed on that, and that's maybe going to persist into the future. But XRP, it's really about this very fundamental driver of demand. Yeah, I mean, if XRP is going to be inserted deeply into the financial system, the market cap has to be orders of magnitude bigger. It has to be able to support institutional flows in the orders of magnitude of trillions of dollars. Today it's a lot smaller. I think it's right around $30 billion. But when you look at
the market cap, I thought, or are you talking about the transaction volume?
The market cap of so there's 100 billion XRP, and the market cap it's trading around 30 cents. So it's about $30 billion. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that the current users and sort of the crawl, walk, run of growing the capital market, if you will, around XRP is going to be about fundamental demand, and that comes from companies like Veeam. And as more companies like Veeam start to use XRP and use digital currencies in their funding flows, they're going to be putting a massive amount of pressure on banks and larger financial institutions to start using this as well, or they're going to be toast. They're not going to be able to compete and be as nimble as a company like Veeam, who doesn't have to operate with any treasury overhead and all the cost complications